Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Dr. Alex Tam. I just started in Vacaville like last year. Now I'm going to tell you why I became a chiropractor. And it's not me, it's about my mom. 3 years ago, actually 5 years ago now, 5 years ago, my mom was suffering from something called trigeminal neuralgia. Anyone has heard of that? They call it the suicidal disease. And what it is that you have a whole bunch of irritated nerves that come down your face, and it feels like thousands of needles are pricking you, and you don't have no idea, no control of what's going on. Now, we lived in Oakland at the time, and she drives to San Francisco to work. She gets these attacks about 2 to 3 times a week, 2 to 3 times a week. And it started out as something that wasn't so bad. It started out as something in her neck. And that was 2 years before that, okay? Before she got to the stage where she had the needles pricking and everything. It started out as a neck pain, and she didn't think much of it, okay? To the point now, 2 years later, when she's driving to San Francisco, because she doesn't know when it's gonna hit her, she has to drive on the shoulder lane, because if it hits her, she can't drive, okay? I'm still going to school. I have a sister at home who's 15 years old, wondering if my mom's gonna be okay on her drive to work, okay? At the beginning, she went to the doctors. What did they give her? They give her medication. Tylenol, Motrin, you name it, she's tried it, okay? After that didn't work, they shot her neck up with different Botox, cortisone shots, steroid shots. That worked for a little bit, maybe a week. That numbs your nerve, kills whatever feelings you have to your face, and during that week, half her face will be droopy, okay? She can't talk correctly, her tongue doesn't work, just half the face just doesn't work. After that, this is 2 years down the line now. Now they want to cut the nerve. She gave me a call, and there has been instances, one time, thank God it was only one time, where she was driving from Oakland to San Francisco. It hit her, and she had to pull over. She gave me a call. It was about 8:30 a.m. in the morning. I was barely awake. And she's like, you know what? I don't know what to do. And I was trying to calm her down. She was crying. It was just bad. I had no idea what to do. She's been on the meds. She's gotten the shots. She's telling me that they want to cut her nerve. I said, there's no way. If you cut that nerve, she's going to lose sensation on half their face, and she can't smile. That just doesn't work for me, okay? It's 2 years of suffering my mom has been through, and nothing has worked. I was at a restaurant with a friend, and I was telling him about this. And the lady who sat next to our table, she's like, you know what? I can't imagine what you're going through right now, but I had a friend that went through same thing, that had neck pain. She went to a chiropractor, and it was fine after a few months. She has no problems whatsoever after a month or two. And I was like, are you serious? We tried injections, medications, everything else, and it never worked. And you're telling me a trip to the chiropractor will do it. I always thought, going to college, chiropractors, you just go in after a car accident, right? Who thinks that? Who thought of that before, right? Before you even knew what chiropractic was. I had no idea. So I was like, you know what? They want to cut her nerve. There's no way we're going to do it. My mom doesn't want to do it, so let's bring her to the chiropractor. The one that lady recommended was in Belmont. I didn't know of any chiropractor, so I was like, okay, we'll drive to Belmont. From Oakland to Belmont at 5:30 when she gets off, it's about an hour and a half to hour and 50-minute drive. I did not want to, first of all, I drove her, and I did not want to be stuck in the car with my mom for 3 hours. Who knows what she's going to talk about next? I don't know. She was already bragging me about college and, things like that going on. Whatever it was, I did not want to be in a car with her for 4 hours. But for 4 months, I drove her there, okay, after work, a couple times a week. At the beginning, it was a little more. After 2 months, she stopped having those attacks. She didn't have it for a week. Now she was like, okay, I'm gonna wait, maybe next week it's gonna come on. She's still super scared. She's had it for 2 years. And after a month or two, and afterwards she said, you know what, I just don't have it anymore. I was like, are you serious? She said, yeah, whatever. Another thing that she didn't tell me was for the last 25 years, she had hip pain. Hip hip pain that my mom never tells me that. You know, especially me, Asian families, they don't tell you anything. You know, parents just keep everything to themselves. I barely tell them anything. They don't talk to me. So hip pain was something that I never knew she had. She said, I could walk up the stairs. I was like, really? You couldn't do that before? She was like, yeah, why do you think, you know, we're on the second floor, I barely come up to your room. I was like, I thought it was just because you didn't want to talk to me. So now her hip pain got better as well. I was like, okay. So I went and sat down one day after one of her appointments, and I went to speak to the chiropractor, and he said, you know what? Whatever your mom was going through before, now her body is healing itself. I was going through pre-med in UC Davis, and I was so set on going to medical school. And I was like, you know what? Now I wanted to go intern for this guy in Belmont and check out what he's doing. So we did that. He got me into chiropractic school, wrote me a letter of recommendation, and that has been the best thing that's happened to our family. I say that, you know, my mom's pain has been the best thing that has happened because it changed her life, and it definitely changed mine. Okay? I would have no idea where her life would be or where our family's life would be if it wasn't for the lady who was sitting next to our table who told us about her chiropractor. She was a total, complete stranger. We have no idea who she even was. Until today, all I know that her name was Mary. That was it. And for that to happen to our family, that's why we're out here and we're reaching out to everyone in the community to reach out to tell people what chiropractic is and share our stories. Another thing is I always urge my patients to bring their kids. Here's why. When you come to us and you're like, say, in your 30s or 40s with arthritis in your spine, you've already been suffering for the last 10 years, right? And now you come to us as a last resort, suffering for the last 10 years. We get you better in a few months and you stick with us. Perfect. You've got kids, you've got grandkids. Imagine how their life is going to change when they come into our practice when they're like 2 years old. 2 years old when they were just born, how it would change their life. They would not need to suffer for the last 10 years that you've gone through. Okay? I always tell my patients, I said, you come in to me, you're like already 35, 40, I could work on you, the arthritis is still going to be there. But if you bring your kids in, I could change their life, literally. Who knows where they'll be? So definitely go out there. We're here at this community outreach. Thank you for the Dog Stop the Permit for putting this together. We gotta give him, you know, pause definitely, because I think this is way overdue, way overdue. And you know, thank you for all the other docs and all of your patients, you know, current patients who are out here, and those of you who aren't, definitely, you know, call one of us, make an appointment. Now go home and tell your family and your kids. Those of you who are already patients, get your kids in because we will change their life, and their life will be different. Thank you so much.